because God forbid something happens, I think then they have failed in the duty, but solution certainly, not at this forum we can discuss, I can sit down with your father and discuss it with him, but this is certainly the solution doesn't lie in shifting you, your family or your father from one house to another. They will find out which place you have gone to, so there are other solutions and one should focus on those.
Okay, please go ahead.
My name is Syed, and I have two short questions, and they're both keeping in mind the national security level that we have right now. The first is directed to Mr. Amir Jehangir. You talked about corporate political responsibility, and we see that the media is lacking where it comes to differentiating between the Afghan and the Pakistan Taliban to the masses of our country. Do you think it is not that isn't this the time for the media to act responsible and not put our friend and foes in the same bracket? And my second question is to Dr. Rana. You've mentioned that the entire nation is at war, and then in the beginning of your talk you also mentioned that we should sort of make the weapons more subtle. You have the son of a very brave man sitting here who's now known for his attempt to tackle a terrorist to take his gun so that he could take them down before they could take more innocent people down. Is this not the time to actually empower the youth, as it's written here, and make us able to defend ourselves and train us in that militant, in handling weapons so that we could defend ourselves? There's only a limit to which the army can stretch. Thank you.
I think yes, you are absolutely right. There should be a distinction between the right and the wrong, and this realization is coming in. I spoke about the new code of conduct that the media organizations have adopted, and since the implementation of that since December 1st, you will see a lot of difference in terms of the attitudes of the anchors, the attitude of the news treatment that you will see in the news now compared to the same news channels 6 months back. So that realization is there, and yes, it needs to be further, I think, improved. I agree with you on this.
Sir.
I think the point that I was trying to make here was that we as Pakistanis are obviously extremely angry and perturbed and disturbed with whatever is happening. Now, one of the things that happens with angry people and distressed people, that they lack prudence once they become very emotional. Now, you imagine yourself being extremely angry, miserable and distressed, and also carrying a weapon. Now,
exactly.
It can lead to quite a disastrous circumstance and situation where people would start to settle scores as a knee-jerk response to a situation. Therefore, I for one, purely as a psychiatrist and as a student of human behavior, feel that it needs to be organizations and trained people who actually need to respond to these very, very trained people. Don't think that they are novices who get up from a mahalla somewhere in Gujranwala and then go and start to become bombing. If you actually see the plan with which the Parade Lane mosque was invaded by these, it's a very sophisticated way of attacking, and therefore the general responded because he was probably far superior in his strategy and training, and yet you see he couldn't completely neutralize the enemy alone. And therefore I think I as a mental health professional, I would not recommend that we go today and say, okay, let us train all youth of Pakistan in handling G3 rifles and give them one each. Probably there'd be more problems than solutions with this kind of a response, in my opinion.
Ihtisham Haq Sahab is our Director News North. Would you like to add something on this, sir?
I think the lady has asked about to differentiate between the Taliban and the Afghan Taliban. I think it's a very clear distinction that is very much there. The local Talibans, they have their own ideology, while as talking about the the Afghan Taliban, they have also been linked to the Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda has the international agenda. So I think since the Americans are now realizing that there should be some kind of a negotiation and there should be a negotiated settlement with the good Taliban, I think once that happens in Afghanistan, maybe
have
we
some
can
hope.
also deal with this subject in Pakistan as well. Thank you.
Okay. Sir, unfortunately, we have to wrap up the whole seminar, but we will be conducting more seminars to go forward. Sir Kamal, sir, what, as per you, is the way forward of this whole?
Well, as far as way forward is concerned, there are a couple of measures that we have to initiate. We have talked about a few.
Okay.
And I can leave those here and those can be circulated.
Okay.
But coming back to the subject, the title, which is Cultivating Hope.
Indeed.
Now we are here to cultivate hope. And we must know that if we lose hope, what does it mean? It means disillusionment. It means disappointment. And in our religion, मायूसी, मायूसी को कहते हैं, मायूसी गुनाह है. Please keep in mind that a pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, but an optimist sees an opportunity in every difficulty. Whenever an opportunity becomes available to you, whether it is in great odds, difficult times, please try to avail it positively. And what actually will give you hope to survive and help others survive is your attitude. If I may share with you, that ability is what you are capable of doing. What each one of you is capable of doing is called ability. Motivation will determine how you do it. You need to motivate yourself. You need to motivate your colleagues how to do it. Attitude will determine how well you do it. If you look at everything negatively, that is a negative attitude. It will not take you anywhere. If you look at everything positively, you will get what you want. So, in my own humble experience and in my own humble wisdom, attitude is vitally important to do anything and to achieve anything.